Welcome, everyone. Welcome to those of you who are here live today, and also welcome to those of you who are watching recording. It's wonderful to be practicing with you. Welcome to this somatics and yoga practice. You'll start without your mat rolled out, and you might want a couple of yoga blocks as well if you have those on hand. But do have your mat off to the side. We will grab it eventually. You can see mine right over there. But we'll start lying down on the floor. So lie down in a comfortable position with your knees bent, the soles of your feet touching the surface beneath you. Allowing yourself to feel the support of the surfaces beneath. And for a little bit of grounding, of inspiration today, I offer a really simple quote by Carl Jung. And the quote goes something like this: "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you really are. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you really are." And that life itself is about this process of becoming more and more who we are. And yet we always are who we are. In a way, it's this rediscovering again and again. An intentional practice like yoga, somatics, meditation can bring you in touch, can bring you back in touch with who you are. This is really the beauty of these practices. That we're, in a sense, able to come back home. That we're able to remember what may have been forgotten. That we're able to discover all the beautiful pieces of ourselves, layer by layer. To honor and expand into all of what we are, who we are. Such a beautiful thing. Such a wonderful thing. So lying here, breathing, being supported by the earth beneath you. Just think about what a privilege it is to be alive. To be and to ever be becoming who you are. Ever rediscovering who you are. And such a beautiful thing, saying that word a lot, and I really do mean it, beautiful thing that we get to come together to practice becoming who we are. This is the essence of what we're doing. So from this lying down position, continuing to breathe and be. Feeling your weight be supported fully. With your eyes closed or open. whatever is more supportive. I invite you to, with your knees slightly bent, soles of your feet on the floor, to just simply start to rock your knees from side to side. Maybe you'll start with a small motion from side to side, allowing the rest of your body to be fairly relaxed. Noticing how the rest of your body sways and twists slightly in response to moving your knees from side to side. Maybe approaching it with a kind of curiosity that sees your body and experiences your body as though for the first time. Oh, this is what it means to have a body. This is how it responds to this action, this impulse. Moving at your own pace, breathing, being, discovering. And bring your knees, your legs back to center and extend your legs out fully, one leg at a time, sliding out, expanding, making any adjustments needed. And from here, kind of like the swaying of your legs from side to side, now think of doing a full side bend, bringing legs, head, torso to the right, and then sliding to the left. Think of kind of wriggling from side to side like a worm or a snake. Sliding slightly from side to side on the surface that you're on. Arms can be wherever they support this kind of wriggling, sliding movement. Next time you come to the right, as you're doing the side bend, now start to bend your knees, tuck your knees up and in, and roll onto your right side. Coming into more somewhat of a fetal position. And then come back through center and extend your legs out again and extend your arms up overhead. And then do a little side bend to your left and curl up onto your left side. Again, in a fetal position, resting. Same way, come back through center, arms overhead, extend your legs and arms. Little side bend to your right and tuck in. And then at your own pace, once you come into the tuck, come back through center, extend out, and then side bend and tuck into the other side. Trying to keep it fairly continuous, moving through center, tucking to the side. Feeling how you're partnering with the floor, the surface beneath you in order to create this motion from side to side. Feeling the feedback. Feeling the embrace. Now, come back through center, extend out, and we'll add a piece here. So extending out, start to side bend to your right, tuck in. And then as you extend out, now extend on your right side, stretching arms overhead, spreading your legs apart slightly, lift your left leg up, and then tuck in again. Okay, one more piece here. As you extend out now, slide your right arm out and roll onto your abdomen. Stretch your arms, your legs out. And bend your left knee and left elbow and tuck them toward one another. And then do the same thing on the second side, bending your right elbow, right knee, hugging them toward one another. Just go back and forth a few times, sliding knee and elbow toward one another. Moving side to side. And feeling this out. Next time your left elbow and left knee are in toward one another, then tuck your right arm in and come into a full tuck, tucking your right knee, right elbow in. And then come back to spread on your back. Stretch your legs and arms out. Good. Then start to side bend to your left and tuck in. As you extend out, now stay on the left side of your body, stretching arms out, lift your right leg up some amount. And then tuck in again. This time, as you stretch out, extend your left arm out and roll onto your abdomen. Stretch your arms, your legs out. Bend your right knee and right elbow toward one another. And then switch, extend right arm, right leg, bend left knee, left elbow toward one another. Going side to side like this. A few rounds. It's feeling out this movement from side to side. That's good. Okay. Moving from side to side. The next time that your right elbow and right knee come toward one another, stay there and then tuck in and onto your left side. Extend your legs and arms out, reach out fully. And then we'll go through the whole thing. So tuck onto your right side and extend out on your right side, reach out. And then tuck in again, roll onto your abdomen. And then left knee, left elbow toward one another, right knee, right elbow toward one another. One more time, left knee, left elbow toward one another, and then tuck back in. And then onto your back, extend out. And then tuck onto your left side. Extend out on your left side, reach your right leg up, and then come back into a tuck. Extend out and roll onto your abdomen. Bend right knee, right elbow toward one another. Left knee, left elbow toward one another. One more time, right knee, right elbow toward one another, and roll into a tuck. And then extend out on your back. One more time each side, roll onto your right side. And extend out on your right side. And tuck in. Extend out and roll onto your abdomen. Left knee, left elbow toward one another. Right knee, right elbow toward one another. Left knee, left elbow toward one another. And then roll onto your side, tuck, and extend onto your back. And tuck to your left side. Extend out on your left side. And then tuck in again. Extend out and roll onto your abdomen. Right knee, right elbow toward one another. Left knee, left elbow toward one another. Right knee, right elbow toward one another. And then into a tuck. And then onto your back again and extend out, stay here. Just feeling the effects of that movement sliding on the floor. How it starts to warm up the body and helps to bring to your awareness the relationship with gravity, relationship with the environment that you're in. Now, to come up to a standing position. You can choose how you get there, right? My invitation is to take it really slow. We have two options when we're talking about moving with our bodies. We can put our bodies in a shape and be still, or we can be in movement. So with your relationship with the floor, relationship to gravity, maybe play around with how you might move your limbs, move your torso on the floor to eventually come up to a seated position, and then come up to standing. And almost approach it like you're listening to what your body wants to do. Like, where does my body want to move now? Okay, yes, this. That feels good. And then pausing to get the next impulse of where to move. Oh yeah, that feels nice. Pausing. Almost think of moving from the back side of your body more than the front. The more subtle parts of yourself. Back part of the body tends to get forgotten. The back part of the body is more about listening, opening to what is, rather than directing in some particular way. Yeah, good work, everyone. Really good work. And then from this standing position, I'm start to maybe shake off just a little bit and start to bounce and shake off anything that you're holding on to from that opening practice. We started to get into our bodies, but just spending a little bit of time wiggling, shaking, to make sure that as we come into more shapes, kind of like a more formalized sort of practice, we're not taking what we don't need along with. Okay. And then stand still. Just feeling the effects of a little bit of shaking that off. Grab your mats. Extend your mats out. Roll them out on the floor. And with your mat out on the floor, then stand at the top of your mat, the short edge of your mat, and stand tall. And place your feet all the way together or hip width distance apart, your choice. And stand tall in Tadasana, mountain pose. Taking a couple breaths to notice the difference between lying on the floor and standing upright. I think that the floor is still supporting you, supporting your weight, with much less of your body now touching the floor. Feeling your feet on the floor, simply start to raise your arms up over your head. Reach up, reach forward and up. Then exhale, lower your arms down by your side, stand tall. Inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Continue with that motion, inhaling to lift the arms. Exhaling to lower the arms. So noticing the juxtaposition of these two shapes. Almost this constant inquiry of and who am I now? How does it feel to have the arms raised versus lowering the arms down? How does it feel in the in-between space between up and down? Using this simple movement along with breath to become more present. And next time that your arms are up, reach up. And then together, hinge from your hips and fold forward over your legs, bending your knees as much as needed to get fingertips to the floor, belly close to thighs. Inhale, come up partway, either fingertips on your mat or hands on your shins. Then exhale, fold down again, hands to floor, bending knees as much as needed. On your next inhale, lengthen through your spine and come up with a straight spine. Reach your arms up, stand up. Exhale, lower your arms all the way down by your sides and stand tall. Half sun salutation A variation. Inhale, lift your arms up. And exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, come up partway. And exhale, fold down over your legs again. Inhale, rise all the way up and reach up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, come up partway. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up, reach up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Last time like this, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, come up partway. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Okay, we're going to add on this time. Inhale, reach your arms up, stretch up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. On your inhale, lengthen your spine and stretch your left leg back. Exhale, come down into a low lunge. Lower your left knee, point your left foot. Inhale, come up with your torso. Low lunge with knee down. Then exhale, place your hands down onto your mat again and step back into plank. For this first one, take a deep breath in plank. And exhale. Take one more inhale in plank. On your exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. One breath in downward facing dog. Then inhale, lift your left leg up toward the ceiling, toward the sky. Exhale, place your left foot all the way up between your hands. Bend your right knee, lower it down, and point your right foot. Inhale, lift your torso up, coming into a low lunge, Anjaneyasana. And exhale, bring your hands back down and step your right foot forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up and reach up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Okay, let's go after the second side. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, stretch your right leg back, and come down into a lunge. Bend your right knee, lower it down, point your right foot. Inhale, come up into a low lunge, Anjaneyasana. And exhale, place your hands down onto your mat and step back into plank. Take a breath here. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, lift your hips up and back to downward facing dog. And take a deep breath here, bending your knees as much as needed to find a lot of length through your spine, especially up through your low back. Inhale, lift your right leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, place your right foot all the way up between your hands, bend your left knee, lower it down, point your left foot, and inhale, lift your torso up, coming into low lunge. And exhale, place your hands down and step forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up and reach up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Okay, continuing on, inhale, lift your arms up, reach up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, stretch your left leg back, come back into a lunge. Inhale, lift your torso up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, place your hands down onto your mat and step back into plank. This time, inhale here. Either keep your knees lifted or you can lower them down onto your mat. And then slow push up all the way down to your belly, Chaturanga. Point your feet and come up into Cobra, little back bend. Exhale, lower your chest down and then come up and back to downward facing dog. Same way you came down. And a couple breaths here. Breathing, being in downward facing dog. Again, it's still early in practice, so bending your knees as much as needed to get length through your spine. Letting your heels lift up away from your mat as much as needed. Inhale, lift your left leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, place your left foot up between your hands. Bend your right knee, point your right foot. Inhale, come up into Anjaneyasana. And exhale, step forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up, stand up. Exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Again, inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine and stretch your right leg back. Exhale, bring your foot down, right knee down, point your right foot. Inhale, lift your torso up. And exhale, step back to plank. Inhale here. On your exhale, either knees up or down, lower down Chaturanga. And point your feet, inhale, come up Cobra. And then exhale to downward facing dog. And a couple breaths in downward facing dog. Stretching, breathing, being. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, place your right foot forward, bend your left knee, point your left foot. Inhale, come up into Anjaneyasana. And then exhale, step forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up, stretch up. Exhale, lower your arms all the way down by your sides and stand tall. Okay, inhale, lift your arms up. One more pass through. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Stretch your left leg back. And this time, keep your left knee lifted and come into a high lunge. Lift your torso up. Left knee off the floor. And then bring your hands together, interlace your fingers, release your index fingers. Use the clasp of your hands to stretch up through your arms, stretch your shoulders. And then bend your left knee a little, maybe even bring it down until it's just hovering right above the floor, but you choose the level. And then straighten your left leg again on your inhale. And we'll do that 4 more times. Bend your left knee, lower, hover, and straighten. Bend, lower, hover, and straighten. Bend, lower, hover, and straighten. And one more time, bend, lower, hover, and straighten. Exhale, place your hands down onto your mat and step back into plank. Inhale here. Either knees up or down as you lower chaturanga. And cobra or upward facing dog, little back bend, your choice. Exhale, come into downward facing dog. Nice, nice everyone, nice Heather. A couple more breaths here. Inhale, lift your left leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, place your left foot all the way up between your hands. And again, knee off the floor, come up into a high lunge, lift your torso up. And briefly interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, but we'll just hold this here this time. We'll do the knee lowering and leg straightening exercise. We'll catch it on the second side. Okay, exhale, place your hands down onto your mat and step your right foot forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up and reach up. And exhale, lower your arms all the way down by your sides. Inhale, stretch your arms up, reach up. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine, look forward, stretch your right leg back this time, and come into a lunging position. Inhale, come up into a high lunge. Interlace your fingers, release your index fingers, stretch up. And same process here as we did on the first side. Bend your right knee any amount, but maybe lower down and just hover right above the floor. And then straighten. As long as you're bending your knee a little bit and then straightening, that's the task. Okay, 4 more times. Bend your right knee. Inhale, straighten. And bend knee. And straighten. And 2 more times, bend your right knee. And straighten. And last time, bend. And straighten. Exhale, place your hands down onto your mat, step back into plank. And exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog or cobra. So your choice of back bend. And then to downward facing dog. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Breathing and being in this shape for a little while longer. Inhale, lift your right leg up toward the ceiling. Exhale, place your right foot all the way up between your hands. And strengthen your legs to come up into a high lunge. Interlace your fingers, release your index fingers. Keeping your legs strong, reach up. That's it. Yeah, looks good. I'm just holding the shape this time. One more inhale, reach up. And exhale, place your hands down onto your mat and step your left foot forward. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up. Reach up, stretch up. And exhale, lower your arms down by your sides and stand tall. Now, with your feet about hip width distance apart, start to bounce your knees and swing your arms forward and back. So we get ourselves out of the pattern of, okay, I'm placing my body this way and then this way. Let's create a little pendulum motion, a little dynamic action from forward to back. As you feel able, you can allow your arms to come a little bit further up in front in flexion. Swinging. And if you'd like to add from here, in the downward motion, you can come into a standing forward bend and then come back up, which will slow down the rhythm of both quite a bit. Just a few more rounds. Allowing the momentum and take you from one to the next without a whole lot of effort. Okay, and then coming back to center, lower your arms down by your sides and let that land. Let it settle. Okay. Now, from here, possible, bring your feet and legs all the way together to touch. And then place your hands on your hips. And do a little standing balancing pose, tree pose, vrikshasana. Bend your right knee and turn your right leg out. Lift up all the way from your left foot on the floor, up through the crown of your head, especially hug in and think of slightly lifting up through your outer left hip. Bring your palms together at the center of your chest. This is already the pose. And so this is pit stop 1. You can stay in vrikshasana right here. Or place your foot on your inner left calf, or you can lift it all the way up and place it up on your upper inner thigh. Lastly, option to stretch your arms up over your head. Keep on hugging in through your outer left hip and reaching up to your fingertips. Yeah, really good choices. Really, really good choices. And one more time, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your palms down to the center of your chest and lower your right foot down. Bring your hands back to your hips. And from here, bend your left knee and turn your left leg out. Draw from your right foot all the way up into your right hip, and then all the way up through the crown of your head. Think of hugging in and lifting slightly up through your outer right hip. And bring your palms together at the center of your chest. Again, this is already the pose. You can stay right here. Or you can place your foot on your inner right calf, or lift it up, place it on your upper inner right thigh. Vrikshasana. And then option to stretch your arms up over your head. The most important thing is to make the most skillful choice for you in this moment. It doesn't matter if it's the deepest form of the pose or the most challenging form of the pose that you can do or have done. How do we show up for the present moment? How do we show up for ourselves today? What is needed today? This should always be what we're asking ourselves. Bring your palms back down to the center of your chest. Lower your left foot down and lower both arms down by your sides and stand tall. So really good choices. It looked fantastic. Okay, so we'll be coming back to some more standing balancing shapes. But for now, if you turn to face a different direction, turn and face the short edge of your mat again, top of your mat. If possible, bring your feet and legs all the way together. If you need them hip width distance apart, that's totally fine. You just want to make sure that your knees are tracking directly over your toes and not pointing in. Utkatasana, bend your knees, stretch your arms up. And we'll pause here for a couple more breaths, perhaps sit a little bit deeper. From lifting up to your sternum and reaching up to your fingertips. And then sit one more time a little bit deeper. And inhale, reach up. On your exhale, straighten your legs and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. On your exhale, plant your palms and step back to plank. From plank position, inhale. On your exhale, slowly make your way down to your abdomen, chaturanga. Point your feet and then slide your forearms forward, coming into what's called Sphinx pose. On your inhale, broaden through your collarbones, through your chest. On your exhale, curl your toes under and lift your hips up away from the floor, coming into forearm plank. Inhale, lower your hips down, point your feet and broaden through your chest, and we'll do that a few times. And exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up. Lower your hips down, point your feet and broaden through your chest. Exhale, curl your toes under, lift your hips up. And hips down, point your feet, broaden through your chest. And curl your toes under, lift your hips up. And lower hips down, point your feet. A few more rounds, just juxtaposing the two. You can choose the pace. You can even pause for several breaths in one before you come to the other. If you're still moving between the two, maybe a couple more. Coming up into forearm plank and coming into Sphinx. Okay, and then from Sphinx pose. Now, start to slide your hands, maybe one at a time, underneath your shoulders. And with the same sort of kind of abdominal engagement that we worked on with Sphinx to forearm plank, keep some abdominal engagement and come up into Cobra from here. Peeling your low belly up away from the floor. And exhale, lower your chest back down. Curl your toes under and come up and back to downward facing dog. And take a few breaths. Inhale. And exhale. And a couple more breaths. Breathing and being in downward facing dog, being in a shape. We only ever really have the choice of being in some sort of shape or the in-between, moving from shape to shape. Sometimes the movement happens faster. Sometimes it's slower. Take one more deep inhale here. And on your exhale, bend your knees and walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up partway. Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold down over your legs, Uttanasana. And inhale, rise all the way up, reach up. Exhale, lower your arms all the way down by your sides and stand tall. Now, from here, bring your feet hip width distance apart or maybe even a little bit wider. And bring your arms slightly back behind you. And like you have some penguin wings that you're reaching back behind you, broaden through the front of your chest. And then shift your weight to your left foot and try to kick your right buttock with your right heel. So you're just going to kick one foot up at a time. Shifting from side to side. We call this our fancy penguin dance. All right. And do an even amount on both sides and come back to center. Bring your arms by your sides. Stand tall. Be at ease. This next round, we'll do a little pause as you kick. Grab the foot with the hand on the same side and then release it to bring it back down. So penguin dance with a little catch and release. So bring your arms back behind you, shift your weight to your left foot and catch your right foot and then release. Catch your left foot and release. Right foot, release. Left foot, release. Being really used to the coordination of kicking and grabbing. Yeah. And again, do an even amount on both sides. That's a good stopping place. Come back to center. Bring your arms down by your sides. Stand tall in Tadasana. Great. This next time, we will hold for a little while on both sides. So using that same kind of dynamic motion to make it easy to clasp the foot, but then holding for a little while in a quad stretch. So bring your arms back behind you, shift your weight to your left foot, kick your right foot into your right hand and hold. Note what needs to engage to stabilize the supporting leg. So we learned in tree pose that hugging in through the outer hip is really helpful. And try to line up the fronts of your thighs, lengthen your tailbone down, lift your lower abdomen in and up. And then perhaps even bend your right elbow a little bit as you hug your heel towards your right buttock. Breathing into your quadriceps, the front of your right thigh. And then release, bring your right foot down. We'll do the second side. Bring your arms behind you, penguin wings. Shift your weight to your right foot and kick your left foot into your left hand and then hold this time. Again, stabilizing your right leg, hugging in and slightly lifting up to your outer right hip. Kind of line up the fronts of your thighs, lengthen your tailbone down, lift your lower abdomen in and up. Maybe even bend your left elbow a little bit more, hugging your heel toward your hip, toward your buttock. And breathing into the stretch in the front of your left thigh, your quadriceps. One more breath where you are. And then release your left foot all the way down and stand tall. Feet either hip width distance apart or feet and legs all the way together. This time, stretch your arms up over your head. Clasp your left wrist with your right hand and do a little side bend to your right. Allow your hips to go a little bit off to the side, off to your left in order to facilitate the side bending. And inhale, come back up through center, clasp your right wrist and tip your torso the other way. A little bit of lengthening, side bending. Then inhale, come back up through center, lower your arms down by your sides, bring your feet hip width distance apart if you brought them together for that. Place your hands on your hips. Lengthen up through the fronts of your thighs. Lengthen your tailbone down. Press your pubic bone forward slightly and start to lean back. This feels really manageable. This is already a little back bend. You can start to lean back a little bit further, keeping your legs strong, keeping your abdominal muscles really strong. Good. And then use your abdominal muscles to lift your torso back up. Stand tall. Now from here, bend your knees, coming into an Utkatasana position, hands still on hips. And then straighten your legs and send your pelvis forward, come into a little back bend. And juxtapose those a few times. Bend your knees, Utkatasana shape, little squatting shape. And then straighten your legs, hips forward, chest up and back, little back bend. You can do it at your own pace. Just coming between bending knees in Utkatasana position and a little back bend. Back and forth. A few times. That looks really good. Yeah, really skillful. The next time you're on the back bend, one more time, pause there, a couple breaths. Maybe come back a little bit further. And use your abdominal muscles to lift back up. Bend your knees, Utkatasana, stretch your arms up. And we'll take a couple breaths here. Maybe sit a little bit deeper, keep reaching high. Good. And straighten your legs and fold. Uttanasana. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, step back plank. Inhale here. On your exhale, lower all the way down to your abdomen. Come up, cobra. Exhale, lower all the way back down. Okay. From here, I'm going to add a couple of pieces, couple of back bend pieces. So point your feet, stretch your arms back by your sides with your palms facing up. Press your palms up toward the ceiling to lift your arms slightly. Press your pubic bone down, and then lift your chest up away from the floor, coming into locust pose, Shalabhasana. And then maybe even lift your legs up off the floor too, completing the pose. So moving up against gravity to come into this little back bend. One more inhale. And exhale, lower all the way down. Turn your head to your right, rest your left ear on your mat. Rest for a moment. And come back through center. And from here, two options. You do Shalabhasana again, what we just did. Or this time, bend both knees. Reach back, just like the penguin wings we did in the standing quad stretch. Reach back to clasp the outer edges of your feet. And lift your chest up. Maybe lift your legs up away from the floor. If it's in Shalabhasana, like we did last time, your legs are straight. If you're clasping your feet, your knees will be bent. It doesn't matter how high you come up away from the floor, how deep the back bend is. What does matter is that you're asking yourself, what is needed? Like, what is the right amount? What is the skillful amount? What is serving me? Which might actually be less deep, less of a deep back bend. And then slowly make your way back down from where you are. Turn your head to your left. Breathe. Turn your head back to center. We'll do one more, same options, either Shalabhasana or Dhanurasana. Bend your knees, reach back. Clasp the outer edges of your feet if you're doing Dhanurasana. And then lift your chest, lift your legs. Yeah. It might be a little bit deeper this time. Might kind of test and see, okay, well, can I open up a little bit more this time? Is that helpful? Or maybe you need to be back off this time. Both are fantastic options. And if you're still up in back bend, slowly make your way down. This time, place your hands underneath your shoulders. You'll come up over your knees and into child's pose. Stretch your arms forward, rest your forehead down. Yeah, nicely done. That's it. That's it. And walk your hands, slide your hands just in front of your knees, press down, and use your arms to lift your torso up. Come into a kneeling position. and sitting back on your heels. And from here, bring your legs about hip width distance apart, all the way from your knees to your heels. Lean back to place your hands behind you. Your fingers can be pointing straight forward, or they can point out to the side. Right? A little bit easier on your wrists if your fingers point out to the side. So make your choice. And from here, exhale. On your inhale, lift your hips up and come into a little back bend here. And then exhale, lower your hips back down. And we'll do that a few times. Inhale, lift your hips up, open up through your chest. And exhale, hips down. Good shoulder stretch. And we're coming back into a juxtaposition of a little bit of a kind of forward bend at the hips, flexion at the hips, and into extension at the hips, along with some extension of the spine, some back bending. It's coming back and forth. Maybe one more. If you're still moving back and forth between the back bend and the kneeling shape. And then walk your hands forward. Sit tall. Now, here's a place where it might be helpful to use your blocks if you have them. I'm going to show it first with the blocks, and then you can choose. Ustrasana is back bend shape that we're going to go after next. It's a kneeling back bend. So you'll stand up on your knees. I'll show it first. If you want to do 2 rounds, you can do it along with me while I demo. If you want to do just 1 round, you can watch and then do. You'll come into that kind of standing back bend shape that we did at the top of the mat, but this time your shins will be on the floor. And then the option is to, with your fingers pointing back, bring your hands either to blocks next to your feet, or alternatively, if you can reach your heels, you can bring your hands down to your heels, coming into this kneeling back bend. Okay. Option 3, right? So you don't bring your hands down at all, is that you just keep your hands on your hips and come into the kneeling back bend. So some form of Ustrasana, camel pose. Place your blocks beside your feet if you'd like that. And stand up on your knees. Let's do it together. Place your hands on your hips. Lengthen your tailbone down. Lift your low belly in and up. Send your hips slightly forward. Zip up through the fronts of your thighs and zip up through your torso. Lift up and back through your sternum. And keep your hands on your hips, or one hand at a time down to your heels or to blocks placed next to your feet. Ustrasana. Just take a few breaths here, knowing that once it's enough, you have permission, full agency, full permission to come out. You're still in it, 2 more breaths. And then bring your hands back to your hips. Use your abdominal muscles to lift up. Sit back on your heels. Nice, nice, Heather. That's great. We will do 1 more. And since we're here, since we're set up, since we've been working up toward this, we'll do 1 more. So let's go after it. Stand up on your knees and your shins. Place your hands on your hips. And lengthening your tailbone down, lift your low belly in and up. Lift up and back. And then either keep your hands on your hips or lower 1 hand down at a time to your feet, to blocks. Breathing, being. Giving yourself permission to come out when it feels like it's enough. Or if you're still in it, a couple more breaths. And bring 1 hand at a time back to your hips. Hone your abdominal muscles to lift you up and sit back on your heels. Good. Yeah, that's good. Make your way into downward facing dog. And breathe. Deeply, evenly. Last breath here in down dog. Inhale here. On your exhale, bend your knees and walk or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, come up partway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold down over your legs. Inhale, rise all the way up and reach up. Exhale, lower your arms down by your sides. Yeah. Last standing balancing pose. And it might be exactly what we did earlier with the quad stretch, or you can come toward Natarajasana, dancer pose. Bring your arms back behind you. Shift your weight to your left foot and kick your right foot into your right hand. And come into the quad stretch that we did earlier, stabilizing your left leg, lining up the fronts of your thighs. And stretch your left arm forward this time, so it's parallel to the floor. And from here, start to kick back and up. Keep on lifting your sternum up. So for this form, let's stay mostly upright. Doesn't matter how deep you get into the back bend. We want to keep stability with the supporting leg and kick back and up into the back bend on the right side, just as much as feels appropriate. And then slowly make your way out and lower your right foot down. And we'll come after the second side. Switch your arms back. Shift your weight to your right leg and kick your left foot into your left hand. Good. And come into the quad stretch, stabilizing your right leg. Stretch your right arm forward until it's parallel to the floor. And again, here you'll just kick back and up as much as feels appropriate. Keeping your torso mostly upright. Yeah, really nice. Really, really nice. If you're still in it, just taking another breath, feeling your body in this shape. And then make your way back out. And lower your left foot down. Now from here, start to shift your weight from foot to foot. And you can start to kind of even move around on your mat. Almost like a kind of a little bit of a march. Just coming out of this pattern of, okay, we're facing one direction on the mat. We're doing this thing called yoga with somatics, feeling our bodies. And then depending, like you can lift your thighs up a little higher and come into more of a march, or you can come into like a little bit of a jog. Your choice. A little faster marching action, or you can come into a little bit of a jog. Starting to feel, maybe coming off your mat, what it's like to disrupt the pattern of, oh, I'm facing this direction. I'm coming into a yoga pose and then doing some dynamic movement. What does a little jog feel like? Or a little march? And then with this kind of pattern that you've created, I invite you to maybe play around with some spontaneous movements, like moving your torso through different directions, little side bends, but continuing to move your feet and allowing your torso and your arms to respond to that and make your arms, your torso creative. We did plenty of forward bends, back bends, side bends. So if you're moving your feet around, well, it's kind of like a tap dancer or still that jogging motion. How can you use your torso and your arms to be expressive, moving through curves and spirals. Side bending, forward bending, back bending. What does that look like? Yep, there we go. And then when it feels like a good ending point, coming back to standing still. And starting to shake just your hands. Allowing the shake to travel up into your forearms, into your upper arms, and into your shoulders, into your chest. Allowing your head and neck to respond to the little bit of shake. Into your belly, your abdomen, into your hips, your pelvis, into your upper legs, into your lower legs, into your feet and toes. And just expressing, like maybe in a really small way, tiny way, just feeling it ripple through you, or maybe a bigger way, like shaking it off of you. One more time of just shaking. Anything you don't want to carry into relaxation with off of you. Just get it off. Allowing that to settle. In whatever manner you would like to come back down to the ground. Could be simple, like I'm just going to lie down. Or you could kind of more creatively, using hands and feet against the floor, come down to a lying down position. We'll be taking a long-ish relaxing period here. So do make yourself really comfortable. You might put some layers back on. You might use a bolster to prop up your spine. Use your creativity, use the tools that you know that you have at your disposal to make yourself really comfortable and find a lying down position. And give you a little bit of time to do that. It's my firm belief that this relaxing period at the end, it so often gets shortened, is the most important part. We so seldom give ourselves rest. And part of the purpose of doing a movement practice before this is to prepare ourselves to be able to rest, right? How do we move in such a way that we can really relax here? So now, becoming who we are by allowing ourselves to be here now, to know that we have put forth effort to do some things. And the only aim now is to simply be here. Breathing and being. And from this place of being, this place of deep knowing, note and perhaps connect with something you might call your deepest heartfelt desire. Something you might call a driving force, your why. which may be something like, I want to show up for all my relationships, for every moment with compassion. Or it might be something like, I want to approach this situation with joy, every situation that comes my way. Could be connected to the work that you do in the world. My heartfelt desire, my mission is to do this thing that is a gift to the world. So taking a moment to connect with that thing that makes your heart sing, your deepest heartfelt desire. Knowing that we carry this with us and can remember to connect with it at any moment, and that this carries us through our practice. Now, keeping the deepest heartfelt desire in the background, I invite you to find some resource, an inner resource. This may be connection to a person or a pet or a place. And this resource is something that makes you feel secure and safe, a refuge. So what is that one thing, a person, a pet, a place, maybe a place even in your body that feels like a safe refuge? As we move through the rest of this relaxation practice, that you can come back to this safe place anytime you need. It's there. Now we begin to move through the parts of the body one by one. And starting with your jaw, the hinge of your jaw, feeling your jaw as sensation. And feeling your lips, teeth, gums, inside of your mouth and tongue, throat as sensation. Feeling your inner ears, middle ears, and outer ears. And feeling your ears, your jaw, the inside of your mouth and throat at the same time. Seeing the sensations as helpful information. Whatever arises is a messenger, just sensation. Feeling now your nostrils, slight cooling sensation with your inhale, warming sensation with your exhale. Feeling your nose, your nasal passages as sensation. I invite you to feel your eyes themselves, the space around your eyes, and deep down beneath your eyes. Feeling your eyes rest, feeling sensation. Draw your awareness to your forehead, the top of your head, the back of your head, your neck and throat, your neck, face, and head at the same time. It's a vibrant field of sensation. I invite you to bring your awareness into your shoulders, upper arms, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers. Feeling your hands and arms at the same time as sensation. Your awareness to your upper chest and upper back, the space beneath your sternum and your middle back, your low belly and lower back. Awareness to both the front and back side of your body at the same time. Front and back side of your torso at the same time as sensation. Draw your awareness into your pelvic region, into your pelvic floor, your sitting bones, into your hips, your upper legs, your lower legs, ankles, feet, and toes. Your feet and both legs, all the way to your hips at the same time. The sensation of your lower limbs. Allowing your awareness to expand, to encompass your whole body, the whole vibrant field of sensation that is your body, that is even beyond your body, that is the conversation between the surfaces you're touching, what information is there? Seeing the rich tapestry, the weaving of information, the story that sensation tells. Just open and listening to the story of the sensations in your body. What message is there? What can you learn about who you are? And with this connection to sensation, this aliveness, I invite you to invite in something that brings you happiness or joy. It might be connected to your resource. It might be something else. Could be as simple as a favorite food, a beautiful place in nature, favorite animal. What brings you joy? What makes you happy? Spending some time connecting with that, feeling the sensations that arise in concert with that. Allowing this feeling of happiness and joy to expand out, to wrap around you and reach out to others. And from this place, opening up to some sound, the sound of my voice, as you continue to rest. As it filters through, I can hear you speaks to my soul. I feel you. Please open up. Please open up. Slowly begin to deepen your breath. Feel awareness come back into your body little by little. If it feels right, you can introduce some movement into your body as you wake up. And then taking it slow, whenever you're ready, make your way up to a seated position in whatever manner you would like. From the seated position that you chose, lightly bring your palms together at the center of your chest. And we'll end with a really simple chant, really powerful sentiment, though. This Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om is a seed mantra that represents our interconnection with each other, with nature, with everything, really. It's the sound that is said to pervade the entire universe. And Shanti means peace. It's an offering of peace. So to end Om Shanti Shanti Shanti, you can join in with me in chanting, or you can simply listen to my voice. Inhale deeply. Exhale, empty out completely. And inhale for the chant. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much for the gift of your good company today.
Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you. Okay. See if I can get this figured out. Okay, there we are.